Hey y'all. So today I wanted to talk about some of the negative effects of spiritual growth. Just to let y'all know, some of y'all aren't sick. Some of y'all aren't getting a cold. Some of y'all aren't just running a fever. Some of you are going through stages of spiritual growth, spiritual cleansing, and so on and so forth. And often because of how radicalized certain areas of spiritual uh I guess you could say descriptions have gotten, especially if you're dealing with Christianity, even more specific in like the charismatic world. Pretty much everything is just the demon. If somebody's coughing, that's the demon leaving. You sick, that's the spirit of infirmity, Sometimes, but not all the time. So I kind of want to focus on the times when you could be exhibiting a negative side effect that has nothing to do with a sickness or an ailment. Um, And just in case this comes up, I personally don't experience any of these. um, because I know I have made the claim before, which is true. I haven't been sick in forever. So no, this isn't my out to still have the same symptoms and just rephrase it. Just in case somebody thought something weird like that. But these are some things that can happen. They happen to other people. Um, So let's talk about just in the process of transitioning, going from a low place to a high place. When you're raising your frequency, sometimes your body can get extremely hot. Um, you might misdiagnose that as hot flashes. You could start to heat up. You might think you having a fever. It's even possible for you to start getting chills while your physical body starts to heat up. You might think you have the flu, and it's something different happening altogether. Let's say you've been engaging higher frequencies, higher frequencies than you're used to. Your body, being the radio that it is, the machine that it is, will start to tune itself to that. And in that process, it'll start to flush out the things that are in your body and in some cases in your soul that come from lower areas of your life, lower vibrational areas of your life. And some of the symptoms of that, outside of the ones I just mentioned, sometimes it's headaches. It could be dizziness. Um, it could be extreme fatigue, or it could be so much energy you struggle to go to sleep. Some of the other negative effects of just spiritual progression in general. Let's talk about awkward social life, where you may start to lose people that at one time were close to you. And it's not as simple to just say that if anyone can stop being your friend, they were never your friend. Some people can only connect with you insofar as you resonate at the frequency they're at, which means your growth equals y'all's disconnection. So don't take it personal. Consider it energetic that certain people, uh, unless you're in a group where everyone is on the same journey as you and y'all are all progressing simultaneously, expect to lose them all. Not because of there being hatred, not because there's a lack of love, but simply y'all resonate at two different frequencies now. Y'all are walking two different paths and y'all could only walk so far in that together. At best, you could find yourself supporting each other from a distance. Um, so some of the other things that could begin to happen, um, coughing, burping, even sometimes vomiting can occur when negative things are being purged out of the body or out of the soul. Where if you have some trauma, one of the manifestations that trauma can take as it makes its exit could be diarrhea, could be vomiting, could be burping, could be coughing. You could be a hot mess for a moment. It's not an intestinal problem specifically. Not saying those don't exist, but in what I'm talking about, that's a manifestation that can occur simply because things that you've been holding are now leaving. Something that people don't realize is that the stuff that you bury in yourself negative emotions, negative experiences, the things that you keep in your soul, oftentimes find an energetic pocket to live in within the body, and they'll stay there. So typically, wherever you hold it is where it'll have to leave from. I know people, it'd be funny if she saw this video, but I know someone where whenever she carries all her stress in her legs, like in her shin and ankle area. So whenever we're around each other, I could tell whether she's been stressed or not, whether she's been going through it or not, just by looking at her legs. I don't have to discern by the spirit. I could just look at where I know she carries her stress. And one of the last times I talked to her, I was able to tell her what day it was just by looking at her legs. I was like, okay. So that's another symptom. So that pretty much wherever you store your negativity, it can lead to a cause. It can lead to a negative side effect in itself, which means that when it leaves, it'll often take the nearest exit out. Sometimes that can be intense sweating. Sometimes that can be gas. Sometimes that could be burping. Sometimes that can be vomit. It could be intense headaches. It can be cramps and aches all throughout the body. You might get sore after going through a deliverance. And I'm not even talking about demons coming out, but they follow the same pathwork, is that they typically leave through the nearest exit, which can be any of those symptoms. So it'll be highly irresponsible to try to medicate something of this situation, because they're not dealing with a medical issue. You'll simply suppress a symptom, which will actually do the opposite. You'll get to keep all of it. The body, the soul. Some of the other symptoms could be, just continuing with the topic, having bad dreams. As your soul begins to process some things that have been left unresolved but long forgotten, you might have some nightmares, which is simply your soul trying to tell you, we need to solve this problem. I'm no longer hiding it. I'm no longer suppressing it. It's time for us to have this conversation. So all of your nightmares aren't necessarily attacks of the enemy or anything like that. Sometimes it's unresolved soul trauma that needs to be addressed. Let me see. Some of the other things can be loss of appetite. There might be a time where in the middle of you trying to elevate, you completely lose your appetite, which is different from deciding to go on a fast. You'll find food kind of distasteful, where you just won't want to eat. That could be your body or your soul saying, we're working on something. We're undergoing maintenance right now, which means that the wrong thing to do is force yourself to eat. If your body is telling you it doesn't want something, don't force it. Same way with sleep. If your body isn't forcing you to sleep, don't sleep. Anything you have to force is unnatural. So, yeah, I didn't plan on this video being too long. Kind of just wanted to address some of those different angles. Yeah, this can be a result of various things. It could be you on an energetic level, on a physical level, your body's natural frequency raising or lowering quickly. Could cause you to be dizzy, you could be irritable, you could have any of these number of symptoms that I've mentioned, but it's all a part of the progress. So consider it a badge of honor. Consider it a necessary stage. So if you find yourself purging for a long time, let's say you've been doing this for months or years, oftentimes it's because you won't let yourself finish. It could be due to embarrassment, or you might get tired of the manifestation, so you keep cutting it short. You need to get somewhere safe, get somewhere private, and let all of that stuff out however it decides to leave. And that's my advice to you all. That don't resist your own purging. If your body is trying to get rid of something, let it go. Don't try to keep it. Just to talk about, but before I end it, just talk about some rarer cases. There have been times where the manifestation has been itching or boils or rashes. It's super rare, but that can be a thing too. So that's it for this session. As usual, all my links are in the description down below. Uh, yeah, talk to y'all later. Y'all be blessed.